Hey guys, welcome back to a new blueprint video here. Um, as you guys know, as I said in the Treehouse of Dreams video, that I'm taking some breaks once in a while from the parks because the ideas doesn't really come to me as much anymore. So I felt like that I wanted to build a new blueprint. So that's what you are seeing me do today, guys. This is Luna's cottage. Um, and it's gonna be some sort of a fantasy cottage with different levels. Um, and then a little bit of shops and stuff all the way around. Um, my first goal, like what I was inspired by here, was actually the station in Toverland, Merlin's Quest, which has these sort of different layers. You know, you have the station, then you have one more, and then you have one more. And that's kind of like what I'm trying to do in this build here. Until I figure out that it doesn't look right, so I keep on adding stuff, which you will see in the video. But you have seen me do here the first 2 minutes the roof in the back. Where I actually started first by making the roof because I felt like I needed to figure out some sort of a fantasy roof that I wanted it. So that's why I started with that. And I gotta say that compared to the idea I had and how it turned out, I'm actually quite satisfied on the end result here. And I do like to build some cottages, and I just like the fantasy theme. It's so good. So I'm putting up some walls here now. Everything is pretty much custom on this guy here, and I'm using different kind of roofs too, so I didn't get up to that 4K limit right away, because I think just this roof here is about 1200. So you know how it is with a lot of roofs when you do them custom. As you guys see here, I'm making an extra layer now, where I basically take the same roof, just make it a little bit shorter, and then just recolor some of the brackets and stuff to make it feel like this is actually a roof, you know. So I'm doing that, and as you guys know that, as I said, I was going for Merlin's Quest, which has these sort of layers, but the more I build, the more I actually come away from that inspiration. So it just turns out to be something that actually turned out quite cool, because I just placed, went around, placed some pieces here and there, see what it's this look. Because in the start, I wasn't feeling it so much. The build is like this little square here. After I built it, I was like, it needs something. What can I do? And I just kept on adding stuff until I was satisfied, which you guys will see later on in the video as well. But it is really like that thing, like when you build something and you just don't get that, groove, or how you say, like the way that you can do this, and then it just doesn't want to work for you. It's so frustrating. But I did end up finding another solution on this and kind of like just to go with it. So that's what I do. One thing I'm super annoyed of too is this different scaling these stores have. Like this is probably one of the smallest stores I can find, where if you take the normal ones, they are like a lot bigger. So I don't really know what to do there. But I just went with the, what is it called? The one we got in the World's Fair pack. You saw me place it down. And I gotta say that the more trim work I put onto this too, and the more I added, basically, it definitely came out quite nice. You guys see here, I added this little extra thing too, so now there's 3 layers on this side here. Which I also take over to the other side, but then afterwards I figure out a way to make it look more nice. A little bit more real in that way, just to, if you compare to it being a fantasy build, how would a fantasy build look, right? So that's kind of like my goal here. Now I'm also changing up the little trim work here with the different ones, so they're a little bit smaller and they work better there, if I have to say it myself. Doing some more trim work here. Gotta have the trim. It's very important because the trim definitely does something to your builds. They give up that little extra spice, you know, like that little extra detail, which is awesome. And here I'm just placing some supports beneath the roof here to make it look nice, so it actually feels like that the roof is supported. And that's kind of like how I actually build this build. Now the structure is kind of finished until I figure out what more I can add on and stuff. But I'm trying to add some windows here too, where they're actually like a little bit inside of the build. And then I use the brackets kind of like to cover up the last part here, as you can see. They do have the same color almost as the planks have, so I felt like it was okay. It was okay with this because we didn't really need anything else, right? So, and I gotta say that I really do like making these sort of custom fantasy roofs because they are very unique. You can make them look very special, right? And I really like this sort of style for the fantasy. I don't know. I might have like a style that people recognize when they see it or so. I don't know, but I really do like how this looks, to be honest. Especially the roof on this part. I was liking this a lot. This specific how do you say, architecture, this structure I did here with having each layers go down on each side. But I felt like that it looked weird when you saw it from this side of you. So I had to do something about it. So you will see me do a lot of stuff. I will add some trim as I do here to the door. I'm gonna add a tower, 2 towers actually, a balcony. There's so many things that I'm gonna add. And here you see me fiddle a little bit. I'm ending up deleting this little window I tried to do here. So ignore this part here. Now you see me delete a little bit of this stuff now, because I felt like that I needed to try something else. Something that were a little bit different from what I had in mind first. So what I did here is that I tried to make some windows up here too. I actually like the end result here. I was looking for that fairy tale canopy, which I've seen some people use lately. And it's such a nice piece for roofs and such. And I'm gonna use that. You will see that later on when I use it. But here I'm using the normal one, the tile awning, which actually did a good job here. It actually goes well with the custom roofs. And it actually looks quite nice here. Also, one thing I didn't really put into thoughts were if the build was big enough. And actually, it's actually quite small, this little build here. So I didn't really struggle, that's not the word to say, but as soon as I found out or saw that the build was actually quite small, because every time I placed trees and stuff, it just felt super, the trees felt super huge compared to the build, right? So I had to make some higher levels to this build, which you will see me do, as I said, with the tower and all that stuff. And as I say, I really do like building these cottages, so I might even build some more and make a new blueprint video out of this. And I just have fun right now. Dania is almost getting there, and since I can't build any more fantasy stuff in Dania, I felt like that I might as well just build some blueprints instead, since it is my strong side, if I have to say it myself. And the good thing about fantasy is that there's legit no limits. There's no boundaries to what you actually can do. It's fantasy. So whatever your mind or inspiration, creativity says to you, just build it, you know, because it's worth it. This part right here, I'm adding some more stuff later on, but for now I'm placing down the window, the big window. And yeah, as I say, I fiddle around a lot with this build. I really didn't have any ideas on what to do with it. So I just placed pieces by piece and see where does this take me. And as you can see here, now I'm adding also a little extra door addition here that actually looks quite nice in the front here. And I'm struggling a lot with placing a chimney here now. And that is also because the build is very small. so the chimney is too majestic right now. But all that will change as soon as I add some more buildings to it, some trees around, and all that stuff. So I'm quite happy of where this was going at this point. And as you can see here, I found the fairy tale awning and did a little roof on it too. And now I actually want to have a little offset building that kind of like mix up everything here. So the boxiness of the build kind of disappears. So I'm super happy that I got this little idea, and this awning here actually looks super cool. I can't believe that this piece have been in the game for all this time, and this is the first time I actually use this piece. And it's just because I've seen it getting used in more and more fantasy builds now, that I wanted to try it myself. And I gotta say, that fairy tale awning is so freaking good. I wish we actually had the normal roof pieces that was like this. But we got it off grid instead, which is also quite nice. I'm not complaining at all, so that's super nice. Here I'm fighting a little bit with a balcony here and some chimneys and all that stuff for this little tower I built offset here. I really didn't know what to do with it. Should I have windows? Should I just keep it as a tower or whatnot? But I find a solution, place some windows, and I just place a balcony on the other side where you actually don't see it. But it looks super nice when you see it from the other perspective. So that's super, super cool. I'm so into that. Making a little bit of trim work here to the tower, making it just look quite nice. Nothing fancy. Just needed to do a little bit of trim work because it was kind of plain from the rest where I placed the window and down. So you also see me do some put a little bit of decorating on the roofs here, which you can see I put this little icing piece to make it look nice and pretty. So it actually feels like it has something where it ends the roof. So I'm super into that. But afterwards I go in and put some chimneys up and also do a little bit of foliage. Try to detail it a little bit to see if I can get it to look nice. And this was mainly just a quick idea I had with the tower here that was built offset. And I didn't know if it was a good idea or not, but as soon as I built it and added it, I couldn't unsee it. And I thought that was actually a quite nice little addition to the build as well. So, and it really, really makes the blueprint pop up a little bit more, if I have to say it myself, with this little balcony and this little extra addition in height wise to the build. Because, as I said, I felt like it was a little bit small, so the more I added to like raise it up so it got higher, the more the trees would also look more appropriate here around the around Luna's cottage here, as I called it. Don't ask me why. I just like calling my cottages fantasy female names. If you go in and look at all my workshop, you'll see what I mean about that. But anyways, afterwards I try to detail it a little bit with some rope and some foliage and stuff. And I gotta say that after I did this tower thing, everything just made a lot more sense. And I also add some more stuff here. I'm making a dome, or how you say, like a little circular roof with the brackets as well. Because I did something off camera where I tried to add an extra tower on the right side as well to make the compositions good with each other. So I did that. So what you see me do here is that I'm making this little roof dome here that can go very well with the build itself. I wanted to keep it wooden since the rest of the build is also kind of wooden. So that's what I did here. Used the wooden pillars to fill up the gaps between here to make a nice roof, and then I actually just duplicate it all the way around in a little circle. You will see how it will look now when I do it. And after that, I'm actually quite satisfied on how this roof ended up looking, to be honest. Because, as I said, I was first having this idea that I wanted to do Merlin's Quest inspired build, and then it just took a turn, and here we are, right? So, this actually looks more like a silo right now, but I'm changing it up so it actually looks like an entrance and an actual little extra addition to the house here. So I'm super into that. First of all, you see me try a little bit stuff here. I'm fiddling around, see what can I add to this that will actually make it look a little bit more fantasy. And yeah, you see this was not a good idea, as you just saw, so I skipped that right away and just went on and tried to build some trim work that so I can fill out these sort of little gaps between the boards here. So that's kind of what I did here, guys, and just detailing it and yeah, do bunch of stuff here. But anyways, guys, I'm not gonna talk so much anymore. I will get back to you guys at the end of the video to tell a little bit more on what I did at the end here and also show you the cinematics. So yeah, guys, I'm just gonna detail this bad boy here and yeah, enjoy the music, guys, and see you soon. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the music and have watched the speed build and have seen me do a lot of stuff, adding a bunch of detail. And actually the back here, as you see me do here now, is I didn't know what to do, and I didn't want to have the same thing as on the other side, but still sort of have an extension to the windows and the little extra addition we did on the roof on the other side. So I felt like we could continue it on here, but just make it a little bit more different, as you have seen me do here, like making this little overhang extension that I did here to the build. And I actually kind of like how it looks on the back now too. So everywhere you look around this build here, you will actually see stuff. There's no empty spots everywhere. And that's kind of like how I like building my blueprints, is that all the way around they have a function, it's a purpose, everything is nice to look at, right? So I'm super happy on the end result here, guys, on how this Luna's cottage ended up looking. Because as I said first, I only had Merlin's Quest, the station from Toverland, in my head when I started, and it just turned out to be something quite more nicer and cooler, if I have to say it myself. I'm quite happy on the end result here, since I wasn't really aware on how this was gonna end, but as I've always said to you guys, it's just about to not overthink it too much. Just go in there, play some pieces, see where it takes you. Don't, yeah, just because at the long haul it'll all make sense, I promise you. So you saw me do a little bit of nighttime lighting here, nothing fancy. I actually end up redoing it a lot of times. I'm making this little teal and purple pink color that is very, very dimmed, and then a few lights gives it so it just feels like it's there's some people living there, right? And I didn't want to overdo the lighting here, so it's just how it is. We are almost at the end now, guys, but before that I'm adding the last little things here, as you guys have seen me do. Some foliage and stuff, just a little bit everywhere around, because I felt like some places it still needed a little bit of things, and so that's what I did here. Also added this little water drain, as you guys saw, and then of course the famous rope, and you also saw me do some bonding as well, which I just love bonding, guys. They just do so much to the build, as you guys saw when I added it. So it's not a lie, it's definitely something that does the build something at the long haul, if I have to say myself. So here I'm actually just adding the last bits of trim and detailing here to some of the plain spots there are around this little blueprint. But I gotta say though that for what I thought of and how it turned out to be, I'm quite satisfied with it. And this also gave me a push to do a little bit more fantasy stuff still. I'm not done yet. I'm definitely gonna build some more fantasy stuff. Now I built a treehouse last time, now I'll build a cottage. Who knows what I will build next time? Maybe a crooked house or something. That would be quite fun, wouldn't it? I've not built so many of those, so that would actually be quite fun to make some sort of a wacky fantasy house or something like that. Yeah, might be. Here I'm adding some. I was actually adding some clotheslines, but as soon as I added the curtains and stuff, it kind of took some of the look away from some of the stuff. So I just added the clothing line without any clothing, just to have it there. So. And since I added the Chinese lantern in the build last time from the treehouse, I just can't. There's just something with having them hanging around from trees now. I just feel like it's so cool. It looks so inviting and so nice. So that's what I do here too. And I also felt like it was kind of cool to have some all sort of trees away around. You see, I have the orange, the yellow, the green, and then we have a little bit of alpine and such. So, but anyhow, guys. Anyhow, okay. We are done. Remember to check the link in the description below if you want to check it out yourself on the Steam Workshop. And I do appreciate you guys so much for watching. We're gonna go to the cinematics here now, as you can see. And yeah, I'm super happy on how it ended. And those lanterns from the tree just added that little extra thing, right? I mean, that's definitely how I feel about it. So, but yeah, guys, if you like the build and you like the video, give it a like. And as I said, check the build out on the workshop for yourself if that's what you want, or if you want it in your park or whatnot. But yeah, guys, I hope you have an amazing day and take care. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.